Welcome to our NBA trade deadline special right here inside the Casino Land Grill Room. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gareth Wheeler, and joining me on this blockbuster of an episode, Darren Andrade, Mathew Cauz, and Will Strickland. I wish I could say that the trade deadline was huge, but the main figure, the main guy moving this day was none other than, you'll probably recognize this face right here, Rafer Alston. How sad is that? Here's tonight's leadoff. Yes, this trade deadline really put the dead in deadline. When Rafer Alston was the biggest name that was traded, actually not a bad deal for the Orlando Magic, picking up Rafer if they can deal with his 37% shooting from the field. But he does step in. He replaces Anthony Johnson in the starting lineup for the Orlando Magic. Of course, after Jameer Nelson went down injured, he's out for the season. But guys, no blockbusters, no deals of any real significance out there. The Toronto Raptors did make a deal. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, even if it's worth talking about. But I'm disappointed with the lack of action. That's what the fans, that's what people dig. And especially when you got a bunch of teams out there that are competing for a championship, none of these teams were willing to step up and take a chance. I don't get it. Is it because of the economy? Is it because of the luxury taxes that's possibly coming down for next season? Or were teams just trigger shy, Darren?
Well, I think you're talking about the economy as the primary reason. Teams have been dumping salary all kind. You even see the Lakers with their Morrison move, with their Chris Mim move. These are moves to sort of get below that luxury tax that you're talking about. So the economy and the tax go hand in hand. But at the same time, you know, there's preparation going on for 210. There's also guys that are looking to sort of maintain their head above water, so to speak, seeing that there's a hole to be made with competition-wise, especially in the Eastern Conference. But you look at the two extremes, the New York Knicks, who have all the money they need making moves, and then you look at Sacramento, who are also making moves to dump salary and get on younger guys. So I think that's what you saw at this trade deadline, and they were the personification of that.
And I think another thing, I was just thinking of this right now, is last year the two biggest deals were two of the dumbest deals in the history of the NBA. First, the Jason Kidd, Devin Harris deal. That deal was horrible for the Mavericks.
Dumb for who?
That was dumb for Dallas. It was horrible for Dallas. So, you know, and then you saw the Shaquille O'Neal going to Phoenix, which is one of the reasons why the Suns, you know, this team is struggling just to make the playoffs. So I think maybe teams saw that, and I think that was part of it as well, that they're seeing this and like, we can't make these mistakes.
I don't know. You know, the difficulty in a tough economic climate is
huge. I think that's
to stay competitive, but at the same time be as cost aversive as you can possibly be. Now, you made a great point about the Knicks. Getting rid of Jerome James's salary was a big deal for them. I think they made out the best on the trade deadline. Rafer Alston being
they got Larry Hughes back, and basically all the salaries even out. And to me, that was just like a guy who basically that was an upgrade in the roster, right? Get
only the Knicks could do that. Only the Knicks. I mean, they sent out cash to get Chris Wilcox back as well. I mean, only the Knicks could do that, and that's why I talk about the two extremes. You know, the Knicks are going to be in there because they have a long-term plan, as we all know. But you know, I look at Sacramento as the winner of this day because they made three different moves. They took on young guys with young contracts and low money. I mean, Nocioni.
I don't know how you can call anyone actually big
because when you're talking about economics, Gareth, you're talking about Sacramento, who's struggling at the gate, struggling competitively, and this is the personification of what we're seeing. The effects of the economy is that a young team with no money and no hope to compete has to take on younger guys with less contracts. All of these trades
reeked of like in hockey, the third line winger being traded for a six-round.
That's all you can do.
You know, the trades were the equivalent of me trading Mathew Cauz as guest on this show for that newspaper box over there.
Let me tell you, I dominate that. It was a big
to the table.
The big names are still in play for their teams. This is not a case where guys were swapping franchise players. I mean, it's the same money there too, but obviously people feel they can tinker before they need to blow up stuff, and the Raptors are an example of that.
I don't think that there was a need to blow up anything. I don't think it was that many extremes.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody felt that need.
What about taking a step in the right direction?
Yeah, I thought somebody had to step out. Nobody really took a step out.
The Bulls stepped out.
No, I don't
the
think
Bulls
really
stepped out.
They're not contending this year.
It's not a matter of contending, though. This is a team that's on the playoff bubble. And when you add Brad Miller, something they've never had, somebody that could work the low post, somebody that could...
Hold on. Aaron Gray?
It doesn't matter. We're talking short term. We're not talking long term with Chicago.
So Chicago's going to compete in the East? Are they going to compete?
Absolutely not. That's my whole point.
But you're talking outside of Orlando, Cleveland, and Boston. Why anybody? Why should anybody make a move?
And Orlando was the only one who made a minor deal. Even in the Western Conference, a team like Portland, you know, there was rumor they had Ray LaFrance's contract. They're dangling out there. Yeah. They couldn't land a guy like Richard Jefferson.
Contract in Cleveland. That was
exactly.
You know, why didn't like a guy like Antoine Jameson move? Or what about Amari Stoudemire?
When you're the Phoenix Suns, why don't you do something?
You know,
because when you're the
you beat the Clippers 2 nights in a row.
And you have that expiring contract. When the Portland Trailblazers and you have that expiring contract and Ray LaFrance, which was even more attractive because insurance is paying for that.
Right.
If you value keeping those above trading them, then clearly it's a reflection on the economic times.
Right.
These are things that guys said, you know what, I need to save money before I take any on, and that's why you saw it dead.
I would have liked to see the Phoenix Suns step out and do something with their roster because, you know, 2 games where they put up 140 points against the Los Angeles Clippers doesn't say anything to me about that team. And you can catch the Phoenix Suns right here on Sun TV. Sunday pregame starts at 2 p.m. as they take on the defending champs, the Boston Celtics, who made a little deal with the Toronto Raptors today. We're going to talk about that very little deal. We'll return right here inside the Casino Raymond Grill Room.
Look out, Boston.
After the break, we're going local, and it's ugly around the Air Canada Centre. We're casting our eyes on Bico's squad. It's a Raptors post-deadline debrief next in... Sick. What?